I came home early from work and saw my unemployed husband brazenly cheated on me in my house while I was earning money to support the family. Before we start our story, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Hello everyone. My name is Jessica and I am 34 years old. Okay, so let me set the scene for you. My husband, Chris, had been working at this corporate job for years. It paid well, like really well. But for the past few months, all I heard was, "I hate my job. My boss is an idiot. I can't do this anymore." And I get it. We all have bad days at work. I wasn't exactly thrilled to be slaving away at my own job either. But I didn't complain. You know why? Because bills don't pay themselves. Then one day, he drops the bomb. I quit. Just like that. No backup plan, no other job lined up. Just quit. I remember standing in the kitchen, holding a cup of coffee, staring at him like he had just told me he was moving to Mars. You what? Babe, I wasn't happy. You always say we should do what makes us happy, right? First of all, I said that about hobbies, not income. Second, we have a mortgage, groceries, and, oh yeah, a life to afford. But instead of screaming, which I really wanted to do, I took a deep breath and said, "Okay, but what's the plan?" Chris shrugged. "I'll take a break, figure things out." Now, at this point, I'm thinking a break means a few weeks, maybe a month tops. Turns out this man meant 3 whole months. 3 months of sleeping in, playing video games, hanging out with his buddies, while I was working overtime to make sure we didn't drown in bills. 3 months. And you know what's the worst part? The way he talked about it. "You're so lucky, babe. You don't have to deal with office drama like I did." I wanted to throw my laptop at his head. Because while he was on his little self-care retreat, I was busting my ass at work. I was coming home exhausted, cooking dinner because, of course, he was too, mentally drained from job searching. Job searching my ass. But like a supportive wife, I swallowed my frustration and kept telling myself, he just needs time. He'll snap out of it. Spoiler, he did not snap out of it. And that was just the beginning. So, after Chris quit, things were fine at first. I mean, yeah, I was stressed, but I told myself it's temporary. He just needs to reset. The first couple of weeks, I even encouraged him. Told him to take some time for himself, figure out what he wanted to do next. I thought maybe this would be good for him. Maybe he'd come back motivated and land a better job. But weeks passed, then a month, and I started noticing things. Like, at first, he'd talk about finding a new job every day. He'd say things like, "I'm looking at listings, babe. I sent out my resume today. Had a call with a recruiter." But the thing is, nothing ever came of it. No interviews. No follow-ups. No, "Hey, I got an offer." It was just words. And every time I asked how the job hunt was going, he'd change the subject. Then came the excuses. "The job market sucks right now. I don't want to settle for something I'll hate again. You don't understand how tough it is out there." Oh, I understood plenty. I understood that we still had bills. Meanwhile, my workload was getting heavier. I was staying late at the office more and more, picking up extra projects just to make sure we didn't fall behind financially. And what was Chris doing? Nothing. Well, okay, not nothing. He played video games. He slept in until noon. He made lunch plans with his ex-colleagues, the same ones he swore he hated. But the worst? He started getting comfortable. At first, he'd at least pretend to be productive, wake up at a normal time, open his laptop, act like he was working on something. But after a while, that disappeared too. He stopped waking up early. He stopped talking about jobs at all. One time, I came home after working a 12-hour shift, and he was on the couch in the same sweatpants he had been wearing the day before. "Hey, babe," he said casually, as if I hadn't just walked in bone-tired, carrying the entire weight of our household on my shoulders. I looked at him, at the dirty dishes on the table, at the pile of laundry still sitting on the chair, and I just snapped. "Chris, did you do anything today?" He blinked at me, confused, as if the thought of actually doing something had never even crossed his mind. I cleaned a little." No, he did not. The house was exactly how I had left it. Messy. Plates stacked in the sink. Dust gathering on the shelves. Chris, I am working myself to death. Can you at least help out around the house? He had the audacity to sigh, like I was nagging him. Babe, I've been feeling really down lately. I need to figure myself out first. That was his excuse. Every single time. So you know what I did? I stopped asking. I stopped reminding him to look for jobs. I stopped waiting for him to step up. Because deep down, I knew the truth. He wasn't going to. And that's when the resentment started. After that conversation, something shifted. I stopped trying. I stopped asking about jobs. Stopped asking him to help around the house. Stopped expecting anything at all. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't I just leave? Why didn't I scream at him for being a lazy, entitled piece of, well, you get it. But when you're in it, it's not that simple. We had history. Years together. And I kept thinking, this isn't him. He'll snap out of it. He just needs time. So instead of fighting, I did the one thing I knew how to do. I worked. And that's how it started. The distance. I'd wake up early, get ready, and leave while he was still asleep. I'd come home late, exhausted, just in time to see him stretched out on the couch, watching Netflix or gaming with his online friends. At first, he'd try to talk to me when I got home. But I was too tired. Too annoyed. The idea of sitting down and having some lighthearted conversation after busting my ass all day while he did nothing? Yeah, no thanks. So I started going to bed early. Stopped cuddling on the couch. Stopped laughing at his dumb jokes. And the worst part? He didn't seem to care. No, scratch that, he did care, but not in the way a loving husband should. He started acting weird. Like, suddenly, he was going out more. At first, it was small things, grabbing coffee with a buddy or catching up with an old coworker. But it started happening a lot. Meanwhile, I was working 12-hour shifts to keep our heads above water. And when I'd ask how his job search was going, still looking, babe. These companies don't know what they're missing. Oh, I knew what they were missing. A lazy-ass husband who wanted a free ride. And then one night, something happened. It was late. I was finally heading home early for once. It was a Friday, and I told myself I'll surprise Chris. We can have dinner together, maybe even watch a movie. I actually felt excited. Like maybe this could be a turning point. Maybe we could actually fix things. I walked up to our front door. It was unlocked. Weird. I stepped inside. The house was silent. No video games. No TV. Just nothing. Chris? I called out. Nothing. And then, from our bedroom, I heard it. A laugh. A woman's laugh. And my heart stopped. You ever have one of those moments where your body knows what's happening before your brain catches up? That was me, standing in my own house, listening to some woman laughing in my bedroom. At first, my brain tried to make excuses. Maybe it's the TV? Maybe I'm imagining things? But no. The laugh was too real, too close. And then I heard his voice. Chris. Talking. Whispering. Laughing. And something inside me snapped. I don't even remember walking down the hall. It was like my body was moving on autopilot. The door was half open, and I don't know why, but I didn't even hesitate. I just pushed it open. And there they were. Chris. In our bed. And her. I didn't recognize her at first. But then she turned her head, and it hit me like a brick to the face. His ex-colleague. The same one he had complained about for years. The one he swore was annoying as hell. The one he claimed to barely tolerate. Yeah, that one. My brain went completely blank. No screaming. No crying. Just this weird, ice-cold feeling running through my whole body. Chris? He just froze. Like a damn deer in headlights. Babe. Babe? This man really had the audacity to call me babe while lying in our bed with another woman. And her? Oh, she had the nerve to pull the covers up like she was the one being violated. I couldn't even process what I was looking at. The way my stomach twisted, the way my hands shook. It felt like I was watching a movie. A really bad one. But you know what's the worst part? The first thing that came out of his mouth wasn't, "I'm sorry." It wasn't even denial. It was, "You weren't supposed to be home this early." That's when I lost it. I laughed. Like, actual laughter. The kind that comes out when your brain short circuits from pure rage. Oh, my God. You actually just said that. Chris had no idea what to do. He got up, naked, by the way, because of course he was. Grabbing whatever clothes he could find like this was just some minor inconvenience. "I can explain." "Explain what?" I snapped. "How you quit your job and let me bust my ass while you were out here playing house with your work buddy." His face turned red. Not from shame, oh no. From anger. "You were never home," he shouted. "You were always working late. You didn't even care anymore." Oh. Oh. So now this was my fault? Like I wasn't the one keeping us afloat while he was sitting on his ass all day? Like I wasn't the one who sacrificed everything while he was out here sleeping with her? I turned to her, arms crossed. Was he unemployed when he screwed you too? Or does he only do that when his wife is paying the bills? She had nothing to say. Just sat there, eyes wide, like she had never expected this to happen. Then, Chris had the nerve, the actual nerve, to say, "Can we talk about this later?" I stared at him. Just stared. Then, slowly, I nodded. "You're right. Let's talk later." And I walked out. Not because I was weak. Not because I was letting him win. But because I had already decided how this was going to end. I wish I could tell you that I stormed back into that room with a bat, flipped the mattress, and burned all his clothes in the front yard. But I didn't. I left. Not forever. Not yet. But I left the house, got into my car, and drove. I didn't even know where I was going. I just knew I had to get the hell away from there before I did something illegal. And the whole time, my hands were shaking. Not from sadness. From rage. Because the worst part wasn't that he cheated. It wasn't even that he did it in our home, in our bed. It was that he blamed me for it. Like I hadn't been the one keeping our life together. Like I hadn't been working my ass off while he sat around doing nothing for months. Like I was the problem. So I drove. Parked in some random grocery store lot. Just sat there, staring at the wheel, trying to figure out what the hell I was supposed to do next. And then my phone buzzed. "Chris." I let it ring. Declined. Then another text. "Babe, come home. Let's talk." Oh, now he wanted to talk? After I'd caught him bare-assed in bed with another woman? And then, right after that text, another one came through. It didn't mean anything. I swear to God, I almost threw my phone across the parking lot. Didn't mean anything? Didn't mean anything? So, what? He just accidentally tripped and fell into her? Oopsie, my bad. Let's just forget it happened? Nah. At that moment, something inside me clicked. I was done. Done working myself to death for someone who didn't respect me. Done making excuses for him. Done pretending this was something worth saving. So I went home. But not to talk. I walked in, saw him sitting on the couch, like nothing had happened, and I said, "Pack your stuff. Get out." He laughed. Laughed. "Come on, babe. You're not serious." I didn't say anything. Just stared at him. And I think that's when he realized. I wasn't crying. I wasn't screaming. I wasn't breaking down. I was done. "Where am I supposed to go?" he asked. "Not my problem. This is my house too," he argued. Wrong. I paid for this house. With my money. While he was unemployed, doing God knows what with his ex-colleague. So, I gave him two choices. He could leave now, peacefully, with whatever dignity he had left. I could call my brother, who, by the way, had been waiting for an excuse to kick his ass and let him handle it. Chris shut up real quick. And for the first time in months, he actually moved his ass and packed. It wasn't dramatic. No big final fight. No tearful goodbye. Just me, watching him shove his stuff into a bag, knowing I had wasted years on someone who was never going to be the man I needed him to be. And when he was done, when he was standing at the door, trying to find some last words to say, I shut the door in his face, blocked his number, threw out his stuff, and moved the hell on. Because at the end of the day, I deserved better. And that's exactly what I went out and got. After I kicked Chris out, things weren't instantly perfect, but they were mine. For the first time in years, I wasn't coming home to resentment, to a man who drained me emotionally and financially. I wasn't staying late at work just to avoid going home. My home was finally my own. At first, he tried to come back. He sent texts, left voicemails, even had the nerve to show up at my door once, saying he had nowhere to go. But I didn't budge. I blocked him, changed the locks, moved on. And you know what's funny? About 6 months later, I heard from a mutual friend that his little fling didn't last. Turns out his ex-colleague didn't want a broke, jobless cheater once he no longer had a wife to clean up after him. Shocking. Meanwhile, I thrived. I started taking care of myself again. I went out more, reconnected with friends, and, most importantly, I finally felt free. A year later, I got a promotion. A better salary, a better job, a better life. And Chris? Last I heard, he was still struggling, still blaming everyone but himself for why his life fell apart. But that's not my problem anymore. Because I left and I never looked back.